Jack, we're doing this series, Help My Kid Just, but I want to alter it just a little bit. Help My Kid Won't Let Me Punish Them.
This is a real topic?
This is a real topic. Okay. And this is, unfortunately, we're a very entitled generation, or for a generation of kids who think that they deserve everything, or a generation of parents who wanted to give their kids everything. It's hard to be able to punish their kids.
Yeah, there has to be a role shift in the house. The power balance is out of balance. The child can't be running the house. I know it's difficult because here's the thing: we love our children. I get it. I don't like punishing my kids either. But again, that's how they learn. That's how they improve. That's how they mature. And if you're not willing to do that, then your kid's always going to be the same. He's never going to move through those phases of life properly. You have to be able to take control and say, I know this is not what I want to do, but this is what I have to do, because this is about your kid. It's not about you. And if your kid's telling you, no, you don't get to punish me, or no, you're not telling me what to do, you're in a bad place at that point.
It is. It's kind of important that as parents, even parents of kids, parents of teenagers, that you raise somebody who's able to function in a society with rules. We don't like that. Everybody's special and unique and above the rules, or whatever it is that they seem to think in their head. They aren't. You like your kids, hopefully. You love your kids, and you want them to be able to thrive in places like jobs and in like relationships and that kind of stuff. And so whenever they need to learn traits that they need to not have, well, you need to go through the process. Parents tell me, hey, my kid cussed me out the other day, and then I asked them what was the consequence for that. Well, there wasn't a consequence. Okay, these are the standards that will cause them to grow up and cuss out their future spouses, cuss out their future children, and you have this like system that's been growing over time. Well, I can't take my kid's phone away because they're gonna throw a fit. Well, that sounds kind of like a 2-year-old throwing a fit. And if my phone is something that's going, and I say mine because I pay for the service, I paid for the phone, they may get to hold it, but if my phone is going to cause them to throw a fit, I got a solution for it.
No, you're right. As you were talking there, I was thinking in my head, as a parent, I mean, we're not talking about abuse or anything like that, but you have to be willing to go all the way. You have to be willing to do that. And your kid has to know that you're willing to do that. If I told my kids, I got 3 boys, if I told them, hey, you're arguing, you got to stay off the game, you don't get to get on the game anymore today, the video games, and then they were like, no, or I came back and saw them playing, that's the last day that they would have the machine. I paid for it. If I want to sell it, I'll do what I want with it. To me, that's just a blatant disrespect, them having no consideration for me at all, and obviously them thinking that I'm not going to do a dang thing about it. And if that's where I'm at, then I have to show them I'm willing to take this thing and get rid of it completely. And if they don't know that and I don't know that, it's not going to work.
Those threats that they don't believe, well, they're going to live like they don't believe them. That's why I recommend that parents try to avoid threats. Don't threaten something you're not willing to do. No. And then additionally, you don't want to live through threats. I want to teach. I want my kid to know that if I say it, I'm likely to do it. There's a disorder called oppositional defiant disorder, and it happens either when parents are overly rigid or overly permissive, which means they're either way too harsh with the rules or they're way too relaxed with the rules. And then you have kids like punching holes in walls and stealing cars and doing lots of weird like moments whenever that happens. Additionally, just so you know, if you fluctuate between Tuesday I'm going to be overly rigid and then Wednesday I'm not enforcing any rules, that also gives them this message where they don't know when they have to actually follow your rules or when they need to push back against them.
Yeah, and as a kid, actually just as a human being in general, our default is to get as much as we can to be able to pull as much as we can out of something or get away with as much as we can as a kid, guaranteed. If a kid thinks I can get away with this and it's going to benefit me in any way, it's going to do it. If a kid thinks I can steal that and I'm not going to get caught, well, why wouldn't I? We have to understand that sometimes kids are thinking this way, and if they're raised in a house without any kind of balance, without any kind of stability, consistency, it's always going to be about what can I get out of this situation or out of this moment, and it's going to be a selfish thing, and they're not going to end up being able to be good in life at anything really, because they're always going to be living for themselves and living this kind of hedonistic life.